Despair in Gaza, a humanitarian catastrophe. The Gaza Strip is facing a dire humanitarian crisis. Recent events have exacerbated the already dire situation. Israel's seizure of Rafah, a key city in southern Gaza, has displaced hundreds of thousands. The United Nations estimates over 60% of Gaza is now a no-go zone due to Israeli evacuation orders. The human cost of the conflict is staggering. The Gaza Health Ministry reports 97 people were killed in Israeli strikes in the last 24 hours alone. Tragically, many casualties are women and children. Airstrikes have targeted schools and shelters, causing immense suffering and loss of innocent lives. The displacement of Gazans has resulted in squalid living conditions. Many are seeking refuge in crowded shelters or living in makeshift camps. The situation is particularly dire in Khan Yunis, where resources are stretched thin. A total blockade on goods entering Gaza has been in place since the collapse of the March 2025 ceasefire. This has led to severe shortages of food, water, medicine, and other essential supplies. The already fragile healthcare system is on the brink of collapse. Israel claims its actions in Gaza are aimed at ensuring the safety of its citizens and securing the release of hostages held by Hamas. The recent seizure of Rafah is part of a strategy to establish a security corridor in southern Gaza. This corridor, dubbed the Morag Corridor, aims to disrupt Hamas's operations and prevent attacks on Israel. The Israeli government also aims to dismantle Hamas's military capabilities. This includes targeting rocket launch sites, tunnels, and weapons depots. The intense military campaign is designed to weaken Hamas's grip on Gaza. The international community has expressed deep concern over the escalating violence in Gaza and the devastating humanitarian crisis. The United Nations has called for an immediate ceasefire and urged all parties to exercise restraint. Diplomatic efforts are underway to broker a truce and facilitate the delivery of humanitarian aid to Gaza. The deaths of 15 Palestinian aid workers found in a shallow grave have sparked international outrage and calls for an independent investigation. Israel has launched an inquiry into the incident, but many remain skeptical of its impartiality. The targeting of humanitarian workers and facilities has raised serious concerns about the safety and security of aid organizations operating in Gaza. The recent airstrike on a UN building in Jabalia, which sheltered 700 displaced people, including many women and children, has been met with widespread condemnation. The attack, which killed 15 people, including 9 children, has been denounced as a war crime by some international organizations. The incident underscores the dangers faced by civilians in Gaza and the urgent need for international protection. Despite the growing pressure, a lasting solution to the conflict remains elusive. The international community faces significant challenges in mediating between Israel and Hamas, two parties with deeply entrenched positions and a history of mistrust. Section 4. Historical context, a cycle of violence and blockades. The Gaza crisis is a long and bloody conflict. Hamas has controlled Gaza since 2007. Gaza has been under an Israeli blockade for over a decade. The October 2023 Hamas attack on Israel marked a turning point. It led to a swift and brutal Israeli military response. The cycles of violence have left both sides deeply divided. Section 5. Political implications, protests, and pressure on Netanyahu. The ongoing crisis in Gaza has significant political implications for both Israel and the Palestinian Authority. In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing mounting pressure from both the right and the left. Right-wing politicians are demanding a more forceful military response and the complete dismantling of Hamas. Left-wing parties are calling for a ceasefire and a negotiated settlement. Netanyahu is also facing growing international pressure to end the bloodshed and address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The protests in Israel reflect the deep divisions within Israeli society over the conflict and the government's handling of the situation. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Authority, led by President Mahmoud Abbas, has condemned the Israeli offensive in Gaza and called for international intervention. However, the Palestinian Authority has limited influence over Hamas, and its ability to play a constructive role in resolving the conflict is questionable. The crisis has also heightened tensions between Israel and some Arab states, particularly those that have recently normalized relations with Israel. The images of Palestinian suffering and the destruction in Gaza have sparked outrage and protests across the Arab world, putting pressure on Arab leaders to take a stronger stance against Israel.